All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to start by giving all the praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rachakodash. Double honors to the elder apostles and bishops at the great millstone that rule well. Peace, blessings, and salutations unto the hopeful elect tabernacle of David scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth. And this is just going to be my quick response to Elder Apostle Tahar's lesson. The woman was a Greek, is an Israelite. And he's responding to the deacon in Hassad. And I guess that topic came up. And you got certain groups that teach that the Syro-Phoenician woman that Yahushai came to was an heathen. You know, she was a Edomite. And that's why you got to, study the scriptures and learn. So much for that Sakari University. But you should, if you're a scholar, you should know that that woman had to have been an Israelite. And you would have to just know geography, studying the maps, studying the history of different regions and locations. All right, in accordance with the Bible and its biblical history, then you would have better understanding. All right. And this is just me skillfully adding to what the elder apostle already then went into. Matter of fact, just to get this quick precept, Sirach 21 and verse 15, it says, if a skillful man hear a wise word, and the elders, the scriptures say to basically be around the wise and let not a wise proverb escape thee. All right. And they do these shows and these lessons so that you can actually grow in this understanding, so that you can be wise unto salvation. All right. And a lot of these type of lessons, it doesn't get that many views and hits because, Jake, they want to view more controversial stuff. They want to be entertained rather than edified. But these are the type of lessons, if you're really sincere and you're trying to grow in the knowledge, these are the type of lessons to watch. All right. But anyway, it says, if a skillful man hear a wise word, he will commend it and add unto it. Because there's layers in this wisdom. All right. And we cover all fronts, making sure that, we're thorough in these scriptures. It says, but as soon as one of no understanding heareth it, it displeaseth him. Somebody that's, they just can't get it. They start to get offended because, it didn't really, basically the understanding escaped them, and they really couldn't really grasp, the understanding. So what they do is they become disgruntled and they dismiss it. And they'll, say, oh, you going off, this doesn't make any sense, or blase, blase. That just means that the Spirit didn't open you up to it. So Jake struggled with, different things in the scriptures. Like, for example, Cornelius, you still got guys in these other One West groups that still can't get over Cornelius in 2024. Right? The Roman centurion that the Lord told he found no faith nowhere in Israel. He was basically saying that the faith that this centurion had, he didn't find such faith in Israel. And you got certain people that believe that that centurion wasn't an Israelite, but he was clearly an Israelite. All right. But they hear us break it down. If they have no understanding, or the Spirit is not with them, they'll become displeased. All right. It says, and he casteth it behind his back. So basically just dismiss it. All right. And we're not going to teach that. We're not going to believe that because it doesn't make sense. What the scriptures say, the foolish man, unto the natural man, he receiveth not the things of the Spirit. because they are foolish unto him. Neither can he discern them. So you got to have discernment. So dealing with that Syro-Phoenician woman, which when you read the account in Matthew, this is Matthew 15 and starting at 21. It said, then Yahushua went thence and departed into the coast of Tyre and Zidon. Excuse me. And behold, a woman of Canaan came out of the same coast and cried unto him, saying, have mercy on me, O Lord, thou son of David. Now, how would she know if she was a heathen that happened to live up there in that region? What would she have to do with Yahushua, the law, the prophets? How would she even have known that he was the son of David? Because he even told Peter, when he asked him, who do you say that I am? Now, you the son of the Most High. Son of David. And he said, flesh and blood have not revealed that to you, but my Father which is in heaven have revealed it to you. So obviously this woman was an Israelite, and she believed. And she said, my daughter is grievously vexed with a devil. All right. So people will read that and say, well, the Lord was all the way up in Tyre and Zidon on the coast, and a woman of Canaan. That's just talking about that region of land that she was native to, because you had Israelites all up in northern Israel. All right, the border, the northern tip of Israel, bordering Syria. Israelites was all up there, man, and that was the land of Canaan. All right, where you had Phoenicia up there, and later down the line, after the Canaanites got moved out, which it was Israel that did it. When you fast forward to the time of Alexander, he was the one that actually took over. He colonized Tyre and Zidon. So thus it became a Greek province. So that's why she was referred to in Mark as the Syro-Phoenician woman. Now you look up this map right here. You look in the purple. That's where the Phoenicians dwelt. Okay. There was a Canaanite family that dwelt in that area, and they spoke the Shemitic language. But by the time the Greeks took over, Alexander, it became Hellenized. So the language of Greek, all right, became the prominent language there by the time that woman was on the scene. So you see it in purple. Tyre, Zidon, Byblos, I think that's what that say. Yeah, Byblos or Byblos. So those are the different cities in Phoenicia. So the Lord came all the way up there, because there were Israelites all the way up there. Okay. And that used to be a dwelling of Canaan. So let me go from there real quick, because we're dealing with the geographical aspect of it. Let's go to let's go to 2 Samuel. And this is when King David, Satan got on David, and he called for a census to be taken on Israel. He numbered Israel. All right. And you'll see in this chapter the different areas in which they traveled. He sent Joab and them to take up the number. So he traveled through all these various locations as far as, the land reached, extending all the way up into Syria, where you had a bunch of Israelites. All right, so matter of fact, let's go to the NLT. So this is 2 Samuel 24:1. And it says, once again, the anger of the Lord burned against Israel, and he caused David to harm them by taking a consensus or a census. Go out and count the people of Israel and Judah, the Lord told him. So the king said to Joab and the commanders of the army, take a census of all the tribes of Israel, from Dan in the north to Beersheba in the south, so I may know how many people there are. But Joab replied to the king, may the Lord your power let you live to see 100 times as many people as there are now. Because we use as a sand of the sea and still growing. But why, my lord the king, do you want to do this? But the king insisted that they take the census. So Joab and the commanders of the army went out to count the people of Israel. First they crossed the Jordan and camped at Aurora, south of the town in the valley and in the direction of Gad. Then they went on to Jazer, then to Gilead in the land of Tatam Hashti, and to Danjaan and around to Zidon. All right, so that's Zidon up there at the coast. Up there where the northern point of Israel borders Syria. It says, then they came to the fortress of Tyre. So they went all the way up that far because there were Israelites dwelling all the way up there. Because they had to take a number. They had to number Israel. So they went all the way up into Zidon and Tyre. So this proves right here in this early history that you had Israelites in those regions. So how is it far-fetched to say that that woman that the Lord encountered when he went up there was an Israelite woman, just because it says that she was a woman of Canaan? That was because the Canaanites once dwelt there. It was originally the habitation of the Canaanites. This verse right here proves it. Verse 7, then they came to the fortress of Tyre and all the towns of the Hivites and Canaanites. Finally, they went south to Judah as far as Beersheba. Having gone through the entire land for 9 months and 20 days, they returned to Jerusalem. Joab reported the number of people to the king. There were 800,000 capable warriors in Israel who could handle a sword, and 500,000 in Judah. And this was definitely going off because we know what the Lord ended up doing. You know, he had to tell David, you know, now you got to pick a judgment now because you messed up. But, you know, that's not the point of the lesson. But you can go back to this history and you can see that there were Israelites dwelling up there as far as Tyre and Zidon. All right. So let's go from there to Joshua 19. And he's dealing with land given to Asher. It says the fifth allotment of land, I'm still in the NLT, went to the clans of the tribe of Asher. Its boundaries included these towns: Helkath, Hali, Beitin, Akshaph, Alamelech, Amad, and Mishal. The boundary of the west touched Carmel and Shahar Libnath. Then it turned eastward Beth-Dagon and ran as far as Zebulun in the valley of Iftahel, going north to Bethemech and Nail. It then continued north to Kabul, Abdon, Rahab, Haman, Kanah, as far as greater Zidon. See that? Then the boundary turned toward Ramah in the fortress of Tyre, where it turned toward Hassad and came to the Mediterranean Sea. The territory also included Mahabel, Agzib, Amah, Aphak, and Rahab, 22 towns with their surrounding villages. The homeland allocated to the clans of the tribe of Asher included these towns and their surrounding villages. All right, and of course, you had during the Assyrian captivity, you had the northern tribes that were removed up out of the land, but you still had Israelites that still were around. Okay, so that, you know, it was mingled with nations in that area, but you still had some of their tribes that were up there too. So if there was no Israelites up there, why would the Lord have one all the way up there for? To look for some heathens? Nah. So you go to the map and it pretty much shows you. You can't really see that good the way this is because this was all the land of Canaan, and we came in and we took them out. Let me try to look for a better map. All right, so you see up here, up north, you got Dan up here, you got Zebulon, you got Naphtali, and you got Asher. And you see Tyre and Zidon is right within the land of Asher. See? Right on the coast. Then, of course, in by the Lord's time, it was colonized by the Greeks. All right? Even though this happened, when the Lord was on the scene, it was under the Roman Empire. But the Greeks was, their language was predominant still. And even the Greek culture. So, that Greek influence was everywhere. It was all over the known world. And Israel was under that influence. All right. So that woman, she was known as a Greek. She was a Greek Israelite. Just like Timothy's father was a Greek. But we know that he was an Israelite. So if you have any confusion and or have lack of understanding on this, go into the history, go into the maps. So now you can prove that, this was once the land of the Phoenicians, which were a Canaanite family that spoke Shemitic. And even when you look up their language, their characters, it looks similar to the Paleo Hebrew, because we were all speaking Hebrew at one point. The people that lived in this region, they all spoke Hebrew. Even when when we read Isaiah the 19th chapter, where it says that the 5 cities of Egypt shall speak the language of Canaan, it's talking about we're going to speak Hebrew. And the Phoenicians, they spoke a dialect of Hebrew, even though they were Canaanites, Hamites. All right. So going back here, it says a woman of Canaan came out of the same coast and cried unto him, saying, have mercy on me, O Lord, thou son of David. My daughter is grievously vexed with a devil. But he answered her not a word. And his disciples came and besought him, saying, send her away, for she crieth after us. But he answered and said, I am not sent but into the lost sheep of the house of Israel. He's telling them that. All right. He's telling his disciples, I'm sent to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. So she was part of the lost sheep. Then came she and worshipped him, saying, Lord, help me. But he answered and said, it is not meet to take the children's bread and to cast it to dogs. Meaning somebody that's because to call somebody a dog, that was definitely a disparaging word, derogatory, but it was really to test her humility, her faith. This is a little dog. Now even Paul said, beware of dogs. Let me see if I can find that. Yeah, it says Philippians 3:2, beware of dogs, beware of evil workers, beware of the concision. All right, because you had wicked Israelites that was trying to constrain everybody to get circumcised, and that was the standard of righteousness. If you want to be saved, you got to get circumcised. They didn't understand that the standard of righteousness that the Lord set was faith. That the just were going to live by their faith. And here go the word dogs. It's from Kuyan. And it says a dog, hound, literally or figuratively, a dog. And it says here, metaphorically, a man of impure mind, an impudent man. And Jake, especially under the Greek influence, a lot of them, they were of an impure mind because they were under the Greek philosophies. They understood the Greek way, the Greek culture. So, this woman being of that landmass, she was a Greek. So the Lord had to kind of, throw that out there to see, where her humility and her faith lies. If she was going to be impudent, if she wasn't going to be worthy of this deed that the Lord was getting ready to do, and also the message of the gospel. And immediately you're going to see that she humbled down, which was what the Lord was looking for in the spirit anyway. And I believe he knew in the spirit that, she was going to say the right thing, because he knew that she was one of those of the faith, even though she was a lost sheep. It says, and she said, truth, Lord, yet the dogs eat of the crumbs which fall from their master's table. And this is what she's mentioned, what the Lord spoke of in the parable about Lazarus and the rich man. How the beggar, he desired to eat crumbs that which fell from the master's table. So this statement was a statement of humility. And that was what the Lord was looking for, because he looked for a contrite spirit and, the lowly, the meek, those of a contrite and broken spirit. Then Yahushua answered and said unto her, O woman, great is thy faith. Be it unto thee even as thou wilt. And her daughter was made whole from that very hour. So she believed. He didn't have to come straight to her daughter and touch her. She believed, without him having to touch her daughter, that he would be able to heal her just based off of her faith. And that was the confirmation. So that's why he healed that woman's daughter, because she was a woman, she was an Israelite, and she was a woman of faith and humility. And Hassad and the deacon, if you teaching that she's not an Israelite, then you're not on the level that you think that you are. Then you need to go back to the drawing board. You need to hopefully by now y'all shut down that Sakari University. All right, because this is something that a scholar would understand. And then you go to the account in Mark, it's pretty much saying the same thing. It just says, instead of a woman of Canaan, that the woman was a Greek, a Syro-Phoenician by nation, and is broken down into compound words. Okay. And the elder apostle went into it, of course, and he broke it down. All right, she was a Greek because she was under the Greek influence, because Alexander, he pretty much took over that land. You read this right here. It says, Phoenicia was an important ancient country in ancient Syria, comprising several city-states by 1600 BCE. The Phoenicians were of Semitic origin, a branch of the Canaanites, and they were not Shemitic, all right? Because Noah had the three sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. The Canaanites came out of Ham, and that was the cursed son of Ham. Okay, and that's why we was able to go into their land and take it, because the curse fell upon Canaan. All right, and we, the Israelites were of Shem, but they did speak the Shemitic language. It says, and were famed as maritime traders. In 538, Phoenicia came under the rule of the Persians, another Shemitic group. The modern day Iranians are basically they go back to Elam, another Hebrew group, a Shemitic group. It says, and it was later taken by Alexander the Great. So it was colonized, during Alexander's reign. So it was Hellenized. It became a Greek city-state. You had a lot of vassal states under the Greek Empire and then the Roman Empire. So, that's pretty much that. So when you read it, you don't get tripped up. Now you understand. She had to have been an Israelite, all right? And that landmass, you had Asher up there. That was their land. I don't know if she wasn't actually actual Asherite. She could have been a Judite or any of the tribes. But Israel we was all over the place. All right. So that's pretty much the lesson. And Lord willing, y'all were edified. And I'm gonna give all praise to Yahweh Shai, and until the next one, Shalom.